What's up guys, welcome to another video. In today's video we have three phones in front of us that I wanted to get to test out, see if they work, see if I can keep them or not, from one of my friends who I traded phones with today. And he had a whole bunch of phones in a bag that he took with him. It was a whole bunch of different stuff, and I ended up taking these three. Now these two are going to be kept in my collection. Well, unless he wants them back, I'm not 100% sure yet. But this one has a lock that I have to bypass, and these two are unknown. So you guys are gonna experience along with me whether these two work or not, because I have no idea. I haven't done anything with these. I've saved them for you guys, so we can both find out in this video whether they work or not. So, first of all, I want to show you something else that I managed to get from him. And that is a new back cover for my Note 3. Look at that. I think it looks great. I'm really happy with this. If you don't remember, go check out my I got six new phones in my collection video that I made a while ago when I went to a flea market, bought a whole bunch of phones, and one of them was this Galaxy Note 3 with a crack in the display, but it does work. But it needs two things. It needed a new back cover, and it still needs a new battery. Because, well, look at the battery yourself. This is the battery that came with it. Yeah, I'm not trusting that a single bit. Despite that the phone does work and turns on completely fine. It's on a custom ROM. But the back cover was really sticky and rubbery and really gross. It was brown from residue from the case. It looked really gross. It was really sticky. It was not a nice thing to hold and look at. This back cover on the other hand is much nicer because it doesn't have the LTE logo on the bottom. So this is from an unlocked Note 3. He had a Note 3 as well that was in even more destroyed condition than this, way more. But yeah, I basically took the back cover from that. This is not rubbery at all. I feel like it has been taken off, the rubber coating, honestly, because this feels really good. Really happy with this. There's also not a chunk missing on the side. Of course, it has the S Pen. I took the better condition S Pen. I don't know which. They both had the S Pen. I don't know if mine had some. One of them had a few chunks of plastic missing right here. I don't know if that was mine one or his, but I just ended up taking the better condition one because I want to restore this Note 3, and his Note 3 was broken. So yeah, and this one isn't. This one works fine. So yeah, still need a new battery, but that's the current situation on the Note 3. And if you don't remember this phone, then just go watch my previous video where I got 6 phones from a flea market. So anyways, let's get started with the first phone, and I'm going to show you the one that has a lock first. So this, well, you can't see from the front, but this is, from what I can tell, a Alcatel One S. That's all I know about it. It doesn't have a model number anywhere. I just looked on GSM Arena's website, went to Alcatel. This one looked the closest to the One S. So I'm 90% sure that this is a Alcatel One S with a really nasty crack in the top of the display. But it does work, despite that it's really cheap and crap. But this has a FRP lock on it. So yeah, I haven't done a FRP unlock on an Alcatel before. I have done on numerous Samsungs, but never on an Alcatel. There you go. Classic, beautiful Alcatel sound. I really love that startup sound, honestly. I really like it. But yeah, I have done FRP bypass on numerous Samsungs, and it's really easy on most of them. On the older ones, it's really easy. But on an Alcatel, I have no idea. I'm probably going to have to do this with TalkBack and crap like that. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But yeah, other than that, I can't really tell anything that's broken about this phone other than the crack in the display. But I haven't been able to test it out properly yet because it does have that FRP lock, of course. Not the nastiest, crappiest Alcatel in the world. Thank God, because they do get really low tier, really toy level crap, which this one thankfully isn't. It doesn't seem to have any touch issues. So yeah, it seems to be fine. It just needs a FRP bypass, and then it's going to go back to him. So this is not like something I'm going to keep. This is not going to be a collection piece. This is just going to be bypassed, and next week this thing is going to be gone. But I just wanted to show you it, because why not? So let's get to the elephant in the room. This, first of all, this is not my favorite, but this is something really cool. This is a HTC One M7. Yeah, so not an M8. So as you probably know, I do have a HTC One M8 that I bought from a Dutch marketplace for €2 and it's in excellent shape. Let me grab it. I made that video a while ago, but basically I got a HTC One M8 and a M8S as well for like €5. It was absolutely nothing. The guy just wanted to make someone happy with it. He didn't need any money with it. But there you go. This is my HTC One M8. The M8S is now to a friend. I gave that away to a friend. He doesn't use it because the battery is broken. The battery is completely dead. But my M8 works flawlessly. Apart from that, it does have a issue in the screen where if I want to type Y on the keyboard, it does. Basically, let me demonstrate this. If I want to make a note on this phone, right? If you'd want to do that on the M8, which is currently booting up, and you want to press Y, it would type T and U at the same time. And that's exactly the problem here. It has something going on with the touchscreen. And of course, I could open it up and swap the touchscreens between the M8 and the M8S, which is very risky. But this is just a nice collection piece at this point. I really do like this M8. The screen is in really good shape. The back isn't in the best condition, and the M8S wasn't much better shape. I did feel like swapping around the back covers at some point, but that's just too much work, and I'm scared that I will destroy these beautiful speaker grills, you know? It is running Android 13 Lineage OS 20. So this, yeah, my M8 is running a really nice custom ROM, and it honestly doesn't run too bad for a Snapdragon 801. This is quite cool. But yeah, I don't want to do a battery replacement on my M8 because that's just a horrible thing to do. But yeah, look, I will show you the issue. QWERTY Y U. Oh, it's the U. Look, if I try to type U, it does Y and I at the same time, and that's exactly the issue. So yeah. Anyways, I really like the M7 that I got here because I already have the M8, and I really want an M9. I didn't want a M7. But, you know, I just grabbed this. You know, I'm not going to complain at all. I really do want a M9, because that was the phone with the overheating issues and stuff. I'm really curious as to how that is with the Snapdragon 810. And I also kind of want an LG G4 because of that, because it had the 808. But, yeah, that's besides the point. I'm digressing. But, yeah. That's why I really like the M7, because I really like the M8, and I have no idea how it is to have a M7 that works on a custom ROM. I'm really curious about that. So I did have a Samsung Galaxy S4 at some point with the same Snapdragon 600 as in here, and it was one of the worst phones I've ever used on a custom ROM. The battery just drained so quickly, it was awful. It was just anxiety giving. It was really bad. I'm really glad that wasn't my phone. To be fair, it was a really crappy replacement battery, but still, that was absolutely horrible. It got hot after 30 seconds of use. And I don't know if that was a S4 issue, because it was the i9505 with the Snapdragon 600. I don't know if that was a Samsung issue or a Snapdragon 600 issue, but I think we will find out with this phone. But just saying, I don't have a nice experience with the chip, the SoC inside this phone. So yeah, that is the One M7. I'll plug this into charge in a little bit, but first we get to the next device. So next up is a phone that I actually wanted for a really damn long time, just because it looks really cool, it's really big, and it's just pretty uncommon in my country. A Samsung Galaxy Note 2. Yeah, these are not common here at all. Despite that I do have the Note 3, this is not the first Note 3 I've ever seen in my life. I have used a Note 3 from a friend to put a custom ROM on for a while, and it was pretty cool. And I know someone else also had a Note 3, so the Note 3 wasn't that unpopular in my country. But this is a Note 2. This is like, wow. Like, there's a reason I have an S2, but I don't have an S3. I don't know, for some reason Samsung just wasn't very popular with the 3 series here. Same goes for the S4. People really love the S4. I think it's one of the best phones they ever made. S4s aren't that popular here either. And pretty much all the S4s that I've ever seen here in this country, in the Netherlands, are Snapdragon S4s, the weaker ones, the not the i9500, but the 9505, which instead of having the octa-core Exynos CPU, it has a Snapdragon 600, which is a mid-range CPU that kind of sucks compared to the 800 inside the Note 3. Trust me, the 800 is awesome, along with the 801 inside my precious M8. So yeah, they weren't very popular here, from what I can tell. I've never seen a Note 2 in my life. It did, thank God, come with a original Samsung battery instead of, well, the absolute horror that the Note 3 came with. But he said this had motherboard issues, and the home button doesn't click that well. Well, it clicks a little bit better now, but yeah, this thing, despite it doesn't have any cracks, I mean, it will be worth it to restore this, in my opinion. Just looking at the condition, it would be worth it to just buy a back cover for this and keep this as a nice collection piece, because the screen isn't cracked at all. Unlike the HTC One M7, which does have a little crack in the top of the display, as you can see right there, and it also has a little chip down there, but it's nothing much. Doesn't really interfere much, but you know, the Note 2 is still in better condition. It's just missing the back cover. But he said that this had motherboard issues, so that will be very interesting. You can also see that all the screw holes are empty, so all the screws are pretty much missing. So if I do want to try to repair this, I can just take off all of this stuff, and I can probably just throw a heat gun over it for a couple minutes, see if that does anything. But we will just plug this thing in and see what happens. But I definitely do want to repair this, because I think this is a pretty damn cool phone. I've never used the Exynos chipset in here. It sadly didn't come with an S Pen, but the the Note 3 S Pen fits. So, you know, next week when he comes along again, I'll ask him to bring his Note 3, and we may be able to just stuff a Note 3 S Pen in here, but I doubt that will work. But yeah, funsies aside, rambling aside, let's plug in the HTC One M7, and I will not pause the recording here. That micro USB port looks like it would still work. I have my angled TomTom cable, and let's go. Ooh, that is not plugging in nicely, is it? Ooh, we have live instantly. Nice. Seems to be on a stock ROM so far. He also had a white M7. Ah, it's empty, but it does seem to work. Alright, let me take a look at this charging port, because it is not in the best condition. It has some crud in it, I think. No, it actually is clean. So, I will grab a secondary micro USB charger. Hold on. So, the HTC One M7 is plugged in. Let me wait for it. Yeah, and it does work so far. I mean, it could have any sorts of issues, but these M7s were good, man. These were good phones. So yeah, that's really good to see. It instantly sprung to life, no problem. I hope I can keep this, because, yeah, I like it. It's in fairly decent condition. I mean, it's far from the best, as you can see. There are some scratches, but it is in better condition than the M7 that the same seller was selling as this M8. That one had like scratch sprinkles all over the back, so this is actually pretty damn decent. I think it just needs a little bit of a clean in the charging port and a custom ROM, and then this thing will be pretty good. So yeah, that's really good to see. Really happy with that. We'll let it charge, and we'll take a look at that in a bit. So now for the main event, the Note 2. I have my charger right here. I don't think it will do anything, but we will see. It is plugged in. It can do things any minute now. But I doubt it, because he said it had board damage. That's fair. I could try to fix that with a heat gun, but that's probably the best I could do. I've fixed quite a bit. You will be surprised how many devices I've actually fixed. Or, you know, partially or temporarily fixed. Using nothing but heat. Yeah, they say electronics plus heat is bad, but you can also just fix things with it, like, genuinely. Yeah, this Note 2 is not doing anything. at all. I'll let it sit for a few minutes, and if it doesn't do anything, I'll measure the battery voltage with a multimeter, see if that does anything, see if there's any life in that. Sadly, this battery does not fit in my Note 3. That would have been nice, because it is 3100 milliamp hour, so it is the same size as a Note 3 battery. It's just too thick. Well, too thick? It's too wide. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But yeah, I'll let it sit for a little bit, and we will get back to this. So the Note 2 has been sitting for a while. Something I also wanted to mention, if I didn't already, is he also had a white M7, except it was really destroyed. It was running a custom ROM, but it was destroyed to the point where I was like, no, I'm not gonna get this for my collection. That sucks. It was a white M7 with the speakers completely exposed. The entire grill was just gone. The display did still work, but it was cracked to heck, and it was just really ugly. And I was like, well, just use the back cover to turn this, well, ugly-ish black M7 into a really nice silver one with a black front. That would be really cool, but that would just be way too much effort. Yeah, the unfortunate thing about those HTCs is just that they're really hard to repair, and the battery replacement process is atrocious. So that's why most people just throw these out. But yeah, it's already at 1%. So yeah, I'm gonna try measuring the battery voltage on this little boy. So the battery of the Note 2 seems to be completely cacked, completely dead, 0.00 volts. So I have this really old and worn out S5 battery, which we can try to stuff in, but I doubt it will work. Plus, I don't know if this S5 battery even has charge. Absolutely nothing. Let's try plugging it in while the S5 battery is in there. So with my jumpstart cable, I was able to jumpstart the battery of the Note 2 to around 3.1 volts, which is still completely dead, but it's not dead. It's not zero anymore, so that does mean that the battery works. It was just completely shut off by the internal circuit because it was so dead. So let's try plugging this in. And I'll wait for a little bit, I suppose. After about 5 minutes or something, I will try to jumpstart it again. I did have a battery charger with two little plus and minus terminals that were reversible. But I don't seem to have it anymore. I have no idea where it is. I can't find it, which is kind of weird, because the last thing I used it was before my room got switched up, so I can't find that thing. Though we can jumpstart this battery a little bit more to around 3.3 volts, see what happens. But the fact that the phone does absolutely nothing now is honestly just kind of concerning. It should do something, even at 3.1 volts. But instead it does absolutely nothing. So yeah, that kind of sucks. I'll do some more experimenting off camera with this Note 3 and see what it does, I suppose. The M7 is currently at 8%, so we can turn that on when it's about 20%. Alright, so it's been a while. The battery is currently at 3.2 volts, which in my opinion should be more than enough for this phone to just start turning on and slowly charge it back up to regenerate the battery. I did manage to I can't charge it, but I can jumpstart it. It like pulls an amp from my power bank for like 1 second, and then it just dies. So yeah, the battery, I can forcefully charge it, but not for long. The protection definitely does kick in, but it's at 3.2 volts. It should definitely start charging by now, and it's not doing anything. So what I'm gonna try to do is probably take out this motherboard, go outside with a heat gun, and just let it heat up for like a minute, let it cool down for around 2 minutes, and then do that same process again of just heating it up and letting it cool down again. So yeah, that's probably something I'm going to do, because I cannot get any life out of this at all, even if I try download mode, which I haven't tried yet. Yeah, even that does nothing. I do have a watt meter, but I doubt that this thing is even taking much charge at all. It is kind of sophisticated because the Note 2 does have a one-piece motherboard, you know. This isn't the modern Samsung where there are ribbon cables over the battery with subboard, where this is the subboard, this is the main board, that sort of thing. I mean, I can try a different charger. I can try the charger from the 1M7, which is a different brick. Nah, that doesn't do anything at all. I'll plug in the 1M7 into a different charger so we can actually take a look at it here. Ugh, that charging port on the M7 is bad. There you go. So it's currently at 13%, and before we turn it on, one more chance for the Note 2. I have a USB tester here and a watt meter, and we're going to plug both into the socket here. Alright, so there's definitely something weird going on with the Note 3, as it's not taking anything. Not a single bit of charge. I don't know if the camera will like this thing, but yeah, it won't because it's a piece of shit. But there's absolutely zero being pulled. Absolutely zero. 0 watts, nothing. Unless I press the power button, it spikes up to around 14 milliamps, but that's it. That's absolutely nothing. So there's something very strange going on with the motherboard in that thing. Not sure how I will charge this battery. I tried looking for my universal battery charger, which is basically just one of these. Oh, Jesus Christ. One of these that you just plug into the wall, except there are 2 pogo pins, and you can connect pretty much every battery you wanted into there, because, well, it's irreversible. So I will try looking for that for a little bit, and after that we will move on to the HTC. Well, I cannot find the universal battery charger anywhere, but it is definitely something with the board that is just not going well at all on the Note 2. So yeah, the Note 2 is dead for now, but I will take a look at it after this video. Let's go on with the M7, which currently has 18% charge. Wow, that's pretty quick. There is not going to be a lot of capacity left in that battery after all those years. Oh, it farted. But it does work. And it has a crack here as well. That sucks. Hey, it does boot. Cool. I wonder if this is a reset or not. I don't think my friend tested this, so yeah. Ooh. It's a very comfy phone in the hand, by the way. Oh, I can immediately feel it heat up. Oh no, that's a gross wallpaper. No, this was used by him. I can tell. There's Snapchat on here. That's disgusting. I'll factory reset this and be back in a little bit. So it turns out the M7 does work, but it is absolutely anything but reset. So I'm going to delete the Google accounts and stuff that are on here. And then we will reset this phone. Jesus Christ, it's loud. So the phone is currently resetting. But it does work. It works completely fine, which is kind of surprising to me. I expected some issues like charging port not working well or something. But yeah, this was used by my friend who gave this to me, by the looks of things. And he was just trying to download APKs and stuff to get modern apps to work on Android 5, which is pretty much impossible. Android 5 used to have support for YouTube still. Last year, I think, but it is gone now. So yeah, we're definitely going to custom ROM this, but I didn't notice any issues with the phone. I just was able to reset it, and there were no touch issues, unlike on the 1M8, which does have touch issues. My 1M8, but yeah, that thing is just a collection piece. My M8. It's going to die someday. I know this thing will not last forever, especially with that super hard to replace battery. I mean, replacement batteries for these M8s aren't too hard to get, from what I can tell. But yeah, that M8S was absolutely hilarious, though. That thing was absolutely done with its life. I gave that to one of my friends. I swear, if you charge that battery to 100%, right, and you unplug it, the voltage would drop so significantly that at around... Oh, I love it. At around 68% or something, it would just die. Just drop out. Completely die. Like a person fainting. Like, it would go... and it would be done. Because it can't handle it. It would shut off to prevent undervoltage. It was that dead. I don't know. It wasn't much better. Well, much better. Quite a bit better condition than the normal M8. But the battery was so worn out. Like, that thing must have been doing overnight charging every single day of its life. Like, it was horrible. So I gave that to a friend. This thing doesn't seem to have the same issue. Because if you have that voltage drop issue that I had on the One M8S, which has a Snapdragon 615, by the way, the battery icon would like get red and kind of warn you that the battery is about to die, and then you use the phone for a little bit and it heats up like crazy and then it dies. So yeah, this thing does get quite warm, but it doesn't get as mad warm as the S4 that I was talking about that had the same CPU as this, or the M8S. Nothing was worse than that thing. The M8S was really, really bad. It wasn't even good on a custom ROM. Honestly, like, it was still very laggy and stuff, so I really wonder how far we can push this thing, especially comparing it to the Snapdragon 800 inside the Note 3. But that will take a while before I get the Note 3 to work with a good battery. Also, while this is resetting, quick update on the Note 2. It is taking charge. It is taking 200 milliamps, but it's not doing anything. So yeah. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the M7. Not that I was really searching for it, I was more or less looking for an M9, but I thought, why not take this, because I like the M8, and people love the M7. People praise the M7 even more than the M8, which is kind of surprising to me, but yeah, lots of people love this. More people than the M8, from what I can tell from looking at online forums on GSM Arena, stuff like that. If you look in the comments, people absolutely loved the M7 to death. And there are also quite a lot of people that love the M8, but there are also a fair share of people that didn't have a great experience with this phone, which I can sort of see why, but the M8 is really not bad at all compared to the M8S. That thing was atrocious. It's a much less popular phone, the M8S. I can only find one whole review from that phone from years ago from one YouTuber. It's just not a good phone. It heats up way more than the M8. People were complaining about heating issues on the M8. Well, let me introduce you to the M8S, the phone that runs hot even on standby. That thing gets uncomfortably hot to hold. The battery overheats, and I'm not kidding, the battery literally overheats. And it turns off then. So yeah, the M8, in my opinion, this thing barely gets that warm. It's much better than the S5. The S5 does have overheating issues, in my opinion. I mean, it never really truly overheated. I used to have an S5 as my main phone, and one of my complaints was definitely heating. It heated up itself so much, especially while gaming, that it just became... I was just feeling unsafe at that point, like it was gonna explode from all the heat, because the S5 doesn't have a proper cooling system, because the only thing that really can radiate the heat is, of course, the glass display. But there's, the rest is plastic. It's not like fancy aluminum like this. But yeah, this was definitely the original HTC One that was pretty damn legendary. And although this one isn't in the best condition, I definitely like it. And I'm pretty curious as to how it will stack up against my M8. Especially in terms of pictures. But on this custom ROM, the camera does work on the M8. The theme is everywhere because it's Android 12. But I'm not sure if this is the ultra pixel stuff where it also uses the secondary camera. So yeah. We're just waiting for the... Oh wow, the M8 is really smooth on a custom ROM. Jesus Christ. Wow. Apart from the GPU lagging a little bit on Android 12. But who expected this thing to run Android 12 anyway? It's awesome. Yeah, it is installing apps, so we will wait on that. Also, another thing I want to notice, the Note 2 is starting to heat up on the top. And I don't think it's the CPU, but I don't have much hope in this thing, this Note 2. Maybe the heat gun can rescue it. I'll try re-plugging it in. Yeah, it doesn't even take charge. So we will take out that battery. I'm going to measure the voltage. It is at 3.19 volts, so still the same story here. Yeah, let me just grab this and take off the plastic frame. While hopefully keeping the AMOLED intact. Wow, taking that plastic frame off is awful. It really does make you feel like you're going to crack the AMOLED. It's really bad. I do not recommend you doing that at home. It sucks. It's not worth it if you have a Note 2. Wow, my hands are sticky from the glue here. I'm almost done taking off the frame, but man, this is an awful job. You do not want to do this. I hope I can buy a spare frame, because this frame is pretty destroyed and I only made it a little bit more destroyed. And I can't even get it off. That's the problem. Also, the M7 is cooking hot. It's absolutely burning itself at this point. Jesus Christ. Honestly, having felt the really nice J5 and A5 that we took a look at in the previous video, this Note 2 feels like junk. This plastic feels horrible compared to that. It's really funny. So I finally... Oh, it smells absolutely disgusting. I have the frame off of the Note 2. This is what it looks like. And it is extremely sticky on the sides. I don't think Samsung will put this stinky glue all over their phones to make them stick. Oh wow, I don't even think this is on purpose. I think this thing got liquid damaged. This does not look like glue. This looks like cola or something, or just some kind of sugary, yucky substance that I don't want on my bed. Oh my god, that's gonna take a lot to clean up. Jesus Christ. Ugh, that is pretty disgusting. Look at this! This ribbon cable was disconnected from the factory, I took off the frame and the ribbon cable was disconnected. I reconnected it now, but it was disconnected at first. I'm taking a look at more ribbon cables and I'm not seeing anything weird. But yeah, this is not glue. This is absolutely not glue. Glue gets solid after a while. This is not solid. This is still really sticky and really yucky. So yeah, I guess that kind of concludes this video, because I do want to end this now so that I can clean the Note 2, because it's absolutely disgusting. It definitely has liquid damage, that's for sure. They did not bother to put this thing in rice, because I feel like rice would have evaporated it, but it's all sugar and really gross. So yeah, we're definitely going to clean this up. I'll let you have a closer look at the damage. But yeah, I think I'm gonna plug it in now with the battery in place. Ooh, that's really hard to do. The M7 is ready, though it's incredibly hot. Still not taking charge. I think this board is just corroded or something, or just damaged somewhere, but yeah, it's really disgusting. I'm gonna have to try to fix this on off of camera. So yeah, so that basically concludes this video. I will unplug the M7. So we have two phones that completely work fine. One of them that I'm going to keep. So the Alcatel One S needs a FRP bypass. I was going to say lock. This needs an FRP bypass, and then it's going to be given back to my friend. The Note 2, this is a sophisticated answer. This thing needs a lot of love. I'm going to try to clean this up as best as I can with soft plastic spudgers and stuff. And lots of wipes, clean the frame and stuff. And the M7, it doesn't need much. The M7 was a really great success, and I'm really happy with that. Look at this, it reset it completely fine. no problem whatsoever. And I'm going to set it to United States. There you go. So yeah, that's really cool. We have one working HTC One M7 with no issues whatsoever. The battery life probably really sucks, but it cannot be as bad as the M8S. Let's be honest, guys. It cannot be as bad as that phone. So yeah, that concludes this video. Really hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much if you sticked around till this very messy end. I did not plan on going on such a tangent with the Note 2 there, but oh well. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Comment, like, and subscribe if you want, and hopefully see you all in the next one. Have a great day.